Joining me on stage are members from the basketball family, and I guess I'll let you guys introduce yourselves. I'm going to start with Mr. Hicks down there, and we can work this way.
Yes, I'm Terrell Hicks, just sophomore next year, coming back to PCC.
I'm Emily Turpin, also will be a sophomore next year.
And I'm Taryn Dominguez, and I'll be a sophomore as well.
I'm Cameron Rutherford, and I just finished at PCC.
So you're considered alum?
That's right.
Okay, I love it. Everybody good? Everybody cool? I want to go back to the beginning. I want you guys played basketball this year, but talk about your relationship with basketball and what led you to continue your education at PCC. Cameron, you want to?
Yeah, I'll take it. I was originally a track athlete all throughout high school. Basketball was never a goal of mine. And then after my first year in college, I just, things changed and I went in that direction. And then, I kind of just fell into it, to be honest. The coaching staff at PCC had been wanting me to come there for years. And so it just seemed like a good fit at the time.
Well, I come from a very small town in Eastern Oregon where there's not much to do but play sports. So I didn't really find out if I was good or not until about 6th grade. And I was considered the superstar on the team. And so that's when I really found out that I really enjoyed basketball. And then once my freshman year started, that's when I really became super into it. And then once my senior year ended, I took 2 years off, but then I moved over to Portland and decided to email the coach, and here I am.
Yeah, I played basketball through middle school and high school. I didn't really know if I wanted to play college basketball, but a cute story. Actually, Taryn was in one of my classes in the fall semester, and I didn't know if I wanted to play, and I saw her. She always came in kind of sweaty and gross. And so I was like, you played basketball? She's like, yeah, you should come try out for the team. And I did, and here we are now.
Well, I'm born and raised in Detroit, Michigan, so it's a big basketball state. Growing up watching the Detroit Pistons play was always a big part of me and still is today. So I grew up playing ball. My family all played. And it never really changed. Same story as Taryn. We're going back to her again. I emailed the men's coach, Tony Broadus, and told him that I wanted to play. Took 2 years off of high school, so it was kind of a rough 2 years for me. So coming back and going to school just seemed like the right thing to do. And I kind of fell back in love with it again. So,
what's life like as a student athlete at PCC?
Really hard. You got to balance school and sports, and it's kind of complicated, but if you make it work, you can make it work, and it's really exciting if you can. So
It's not for everybody.
Yeah.
definitely hard.
It's very hard.
Yeah, I think you really have to have a lot of self-discipline as a person yourself, because like Emily said, it's really hard to balance out school and, going to practice or doing basketball 6 days a week, but also trying to get your homework done and making sure you find time to study and all that. So just a good balance and self-discipline for sure.
So self-discipline, is that an attribute that goes on the court and not that carries off the court? Are there things like that
for sure.
help with balancing
definitely.
schoolwork and stuff?
Definitely.
Would you co-sign? Would you agree?
As far as self-discipline helping on and off the court?
Yeah, what helps?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like we said earlier, this season, both programs did really cool stuff. Personally, did you guys find yourself growing? Did you realize you could do stuff that you didn't know you could do before? How would you experience
I'll
growth?
start off with that one. Throughout high school, I was never really that much of a student athlete. I was more of an athlete. So I wouldn't even put athlete student. It was just athlete for me. So being able to come here, we do study hall every day. So that definitely helped. Doc Muhammad, he's still throughout study hall now that the season is over. I still see him every day. So it's definitely a big help being able to go there after school and find time to study before I go to the gym and work out. It's just a way to, practice makes perfect. So I wasn't really too good at school, so being able to practice school, definitely helps.
Totally open.
I can tell you. For me, it was really good to see, because like I said before, basketball was never like a real big thing in my life until just these past 2 years, actually. So it was just fun to see my personal confidence grow, to see my skill level grow as a basketball player. Because I think before I was just riding on athleticism, and then to add some skill to that, I think it turned out pretty well. And so that was exciting for me.
For me, like I said, I took 2 years off after high school. I was trying to come back from an ACL and an MCL injury. And so the beginning of the season was pretty rough for me, I would say. But towards the end of the season, I started to play more and I got faster, actually. My knee got a lot stronger. And so I became more confident on the court. And then off the court, you know, taking 2 years off of school, I'm not a school person, but taking those 2 years off, it actually gave me more motivation to go back, and now I actually want to go to school, and it's exciting for me, so.
Yeah, I think like a couple of them, like in high school, I never really was a student. I was more of an athlete as well. Like I had decent grades, but then coming to college level, like we're playing college basketball, and it's getting intense, and the schoolwork, of course, is way harder too. So again, finding balance for that, like I grew as a student and as an athlete, and it was really cool to see myself grow like that.
What kinds of things are you guys involved in away from basketball? Like any hobbies, extracurriculars? Because I know it sounds like being a student athlete is demanding in and of itself, but in that big slice of pie, maybe you make time for other stuff. What do you fill the rest of that with?
Personally, I didn't actually have a lot to do. Ball is kind of life for me. Like my dad, he said, you're going to school and you're playing basketball. Like that's all you need to worry about right now. And that's kind of what I did. Just worry about basketball and schoolwork.
Yeah, I would say the same. I don't do much outside besides like working out, and I do take dance classes sometimes. But outside of basketball and school, it's just pretty much that.
I take time. I make music. Okay. I love making music. When I have a hard practice or a tough practice, can't do nothing right on the court. You can't really control everything on the basketball court, but in the studio, you can control everything. It's all you know. So definitely being able to listen to my own music sometime helps, and making a couple new songs with a couple friends or a single definitely.
Can I ask if do you write, produce, engineer, or what? What's the rundown?
I'm actually learning to produce.
Okay.
I have a couple friends that do produce, so they're helping me do a little engineering and a couple things. But writing, yes, I do write. I started with poetry when I was younger, and it kind of grew into music. So.
Who's your favorite poet?
Tupac.
Okay.
I love Tupac. That's where it all started for me. So.
Gotcha. Did you?
I am a homebody. I just like to chill at home, to be honest. I like to read, but I find it hard to find time to read a lot because life keeps you busy. But since I got out of school, because I'm not in school this term, since I finished up, I've been reading a lot more. So that's been more enjoyable. But yeah, other than that, I just, just like to relax. Always active, so you just like to hang out when I can.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Going off what he said, like when you go straight from school to practice and then practice to home, for at least me, myself, whenever I have any sort of free time, I just like he says, I just like to relax at home, watch a TV show or just lay in your bed. It's just nice to have that time.
Sleep.
Exactly. Yeah.
I was going to ask, what things you do to take yourself away from the game, but it seems like everyone has seemed to cover that in some form or fashion. Post PCC, what are your kind of career goals? Obviously, you guys play basketball. There's a classroom aspect to it, but where else do you see yourself in the future? What kinds of stuff do you guys want to
do? I'm studying sports medicine and business. My plan, of course, besides basketball, I want to go to the NBA. That's a must for me.
Okay.
But besides the NBA, I want to open up a business, sports business for other children, or it doesn't have to just be children. It could be people our age, young adults, adults as well. Open up a sports facility with every sport that there is: swimming, football, track, basketball, everything. It's like you can go if you want to play, honestly, I want to do it to where it's free. So, 24-hour fitness is $70 a month, and so on and so forth. They're all pretty expensive. So if I could open it up to where it's just a free facility that you can go and practice what you want to be good at, even open up a tutoring in there, something that kids could just come and get away from home, or something. That's what I want to do.
Like a safe haven. So
Yeah,
to speak,
type
but
of
it allows
thing.
them to kind of exercise those creative juices.
Exactly.
Okay.
Actually, my plan is to become a nurse, so I'm doing my prereqs here at PCC, and then hopefully transferring to the OHSU program. My mom's a nurse, and sometimes I shadow her, and I go around and just like helping people out and just being there. It's really cool, so I would like to do that.
I plan on transferring to a 4-year after I finish my 2 years next year. I haven't pinpointed exactly what I want to go to school for right now, but right now I'm just working towards a transfer degree. But I did take a careers counselor test to figure out what I'm good at, and I actually personally like helping people a lot, but there's tons of jobs you could help people with. But I'm leaning towards like helping like troubled teens, like he said, not exactly what he's going for, but like, helping troubled teens or troubled kids and stuff like that, so.
By the way, you guys can totally like jump like this.
Instead of just going down the line.
Yeah.
If you feel like there's a shot, you can shoot. Go ahead.
Well, this is my turn anyway. Let's see. I actually have no idea what I want to do. I know I want to work with kids, but I'm not sure if I want to be a teacher necessarily, because it sounds like being stuck in a classroom every year doesn't sound that great.
You'd be a mentor.
I've done that for quite some time now already. But yeah, I just want to, like Taryn said, I just got an interest in helping people. Lots of people need help, so I'll figure something out.
In some way, you guys are all like, paying it forward because to get you to the points in your career, someone gave time.
That's what you got to do.
So, can you,
cycle.
This isn't on the list, but talk about some of the people growing up who really like played a part in your life to kind of help you get to this point. Like, maybe it was shooting jump shots, maybe it was, something else, maybe, talk about the people that really kind of helped you get to this point.
Definitely my mom. My mom raised 5 kids by herself, which definitely is not easy. We're all a handful. So being able to see her go through a lot of the struggles she went through and come out on top is definitely big. It lets you know that you could do anything you put your mind to. So that's definitely my hero.
Yeah, I would say my parents probably as well. Like my brother, who was older than me, he was the smart one, really athletic too, and I wasn't like the same. And my parents were always really proud of him. Not that they weren't proud of me, of course they were, but I just wanted to compete with him, so he kind of pushed me just to be better, and I did that with my athletes and my athletics and my schoolwork. So I have to say my brother really pushed me to do something great.
I would definitely have to say my mom, my family, like my older brother, like you said. My older brother was really good at basketball, and when we were younger, my mom was also a single parent, and she can only afford to put one of us through sports, and so he was the lucky one growing up. And then once I got older, then I was able to do things like that. But also the community that I'm from back in Eastern Oregon, it's just a small town called Pilot Rock. A lot of people definitely don't know what it is, but coming from there, it's so small that like we are so dependent on sports that the whole community is like on your back. And so my coaches, a lot of like my friend or my teammates' parents, like they all pushed me to like do better. So I would definitely say my family and my community from back home.
I think the easy one for me is probably my parents, just because they've been so supportive with everything I've done throughout my life. But I think the real main person that I contribute a lot of my success to was my track coach from about 11 years old through high school, Leon McKenzie. He's a legendary track coach at Benson High School. He's been there for 30 plus years. And when I was younger, I just was so focused in track that I would be with him all the time. And just to have a person like that who's been in the community for so long and has so much knowledge, to be around him as much as I was, it was really a great experience.
What events did you do in track?
When I was younger, I was super fast, so I was mainly a sprinter. I did long jump too, so I did like 100, 200, 400 long jump for most of those years. When I got to 11 is when you can start hurdling. That's when I started, got with Kinsey immediately. And then so in high school, I was mainly a hurdler and a long triple jumper.
Is that also what you continue to in college?
In college, I was a decathlete because I was good at a lot of things and not great at like one or two things. So it was a load, definitely that first year, and I think I handled it well. I also had like a ruptured disc that whole year, so it was tough. Honestly, yeah, it was one of the reasons I ended up switching to basketball. So, yeah.
Okay. That sounds very painful.
It was very painful,
Yeah.
and
Like
especially
ruptured disc.
being a decathlete.
ACL, MCL.
Okay. Yeah. How long was the rehab?
Oh goodness, I think a solid like 6-7 months. I was laid up for the whole first month. Couldn't, like, the only times I was up is basically to stand. They didn't want me to sit for more than 30 minutes, so basically I was laying down for a month straight.
Wow.
It's quite an experience.
Yes, it is.
It's humbling.
Yeah.
Very.
Lastly, if you could tell the PCC family, from your perspective, what would you like them to know? Maybe it's something they already know, or something. Maybe it's a different twist on something, they don't know about. What would you like to tell the PCC family?
I mean, I just want to say thank you. Like, they did a great job, like, bringing us all together. Like, I really didn't know, like, if I had a spot here, but they welcomed me so much. So I just would like to say thank you to them. It was really cool just watching them let us in, kind of thing.
Yeah, going off of that, every day I go to the Cascade campus, and every day that I walk in there, people that are part of the athletics, they, you walk in and they all smile and wave at you. They know your name. They, they say hi every day. And so, like, it's like a big family, I don't have anyone here, and so they're like a family away from family for me. So definitely thank you for all their support. They show up to all the games all the time, and it's just really nice to see them in the crowd and then see them at the school later that week, and just, they're very supportive.
You can if you want.
Yeah. For me, I think it's just like a really comfortable place, I think is a good word for it. Like, if someone were to come here, the way I would describe it is just somewhere where you can easily kind of just flow in and continue what you want to do, or perhaps just keep going and further yourself better. Because I know for me personally, I've grown a lot as a basketball player in these 2 years at PCC, but mainly I'm happy with like my growth as a person, because there's one teacher who's on my mind specifically. His name is Mark George. He was my sociology teacher, and he literally changed like how I thought about myself and the world around me. And so that was something that was really great to have, because I feel like if I would have stayed as a track athlete back in Texas, I would have never had those experiences, and who knows what kind of person I would be right now. But I'm really happy with who I am at this moment. So I think just really saying thank you to the coaches, thank you to the staff at PCC. It's just been a great ride.
Do you guys want to talk about the season? Do you guys remember it?
It was fun.
I remember every piece of the season.
It was a great time.
Every day. Every practice. Every game. Definitely, I remember everything.
Okay. So the purpose of the show is also to look at some highlights from the 2017-2018 PCC basketball season. So we're going to look at some footage from regular season and postseason from PCC basketball 2017-2018. There it is.